Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David. And if you're just tuning in, Al was shedding some light on that shorter term trading side of that financial market. You know, whether you're trading for that income potential or even longer term potential as well. If you happen to miss 2 tickets for the investing class, call 952-814-4410. Al, as I mentioned in the last segment, we have 2 buckets. We have our working years bucket, we'll call it. And then you have your wealth bucket. So income bucket, wealth bucket. Now, let's focus on the wealth bucket here because we have a lot of listeners that are planning to retire. They're getting prepared for that, but also that are retired, but also want to make those better decisions during retirement. But you need those proper rules and those proper tools as well. Let's cover some of those retirement plans. You have 401ks, IRAs. How can people make better investing decisions with those proper tools?
Well, one of the things that we talk about in these classes, we call it dynamic 401k management. Most people that have an employer-sponsored retirement plan, really they're putting things on cruise control. They're putting money into something that for most people they don't really understand. You're given a choice of maybe 10, 15, 20 or more mutual funds that you can choose from, maybe some exchange traded funds. And then you have to make the decision as to which ones you put your money into. And then any changes that you want to make, you are also making those changes, but you're paying someone to do that. When we talk about income and wealth as 2 different ways of really approaching the markets, but I think it's extremely important to really to know both. Start with the income portion of it, because that's something you can still use when you do go into retirement. When you're looking at whatever you have in that wealth bucket, you can use some of the income strategies to continue growing that and to also generate some cash from those accounts to help you with the bills and having some fun in your life.
Because that's the key is you have to have that potential to do that, or the opportunity, we should say.
Right. Yeah. And remember, there are no guarantees in anything. But what you can do is you can do things to put the odds in your favor, to help, to put an edge in your pocket, so to speak, so you can have the opportunity, of maybe a better opportunity of having success. I mentioned before that there are 3 things in retirement that are really important. One is protecting what you have, not losing what you have. And when we're talking about those buckets, what's one thing you want to make sure that you don't have in the bottom of that bucket?
You don't want a hole in that bucket.
You don't want a hole in the bucket and have your money being not only just dropping out, but being sucked out. And how does that happen? And is that happening to you? Well, if you have a traditional employer-sponsored retirement plan and you're paying anybody fees, that's a hole in the bottom of the bucket that's sucking money out. And the real danger there, even though people look at maybe a 2-3% cost to a fee for having those accounts, look at that as that doesn't sound so bad. But what happens is that over the course of your working years, while you're filling that bucket, the money that's not only being taken away from you in fees, but it's no longer there compounding for you. And that's really the value of having these investment accounts, is the compounding, the growth of it over time.
It's almost like that song, you're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Yeah, well, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
But
it's the truth, right?
I wouldn't go out and try to create a new career based on that.
Oh, come on now.
But it's close.
I thought it was good.
With a little bit of coaching, maybe maybe you can make the big time there. But no, that is true. You want to make sure that everything you have worked for stays with you, grows, and provides benefit for you over time. Now, that's a relatively small hole compared to the bottom of the bucket, but enough to possibly cost you 40, 50% or more of what you could have when you retire. What happens if the bottom drops out of that bucket?
Yeah.
Then
that's the market going down.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's the market going down. If you go through a bear market, and I can't tell you how many times when I do these classes, somebody will raise their hand and say, yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. We have students that maybe retired in the year 2007. What happened in 2008, the end of 2007 through beginning of 2009? The S&P was down almost 60%. How would you like to retire and have 50 to 60% of what you have worked hard for gone, and then have your advisor say, hey, don't worry about it. It'll come back in maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years. That's not what you want to hear.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the key, is to prepare for that now. Hopefully it doesn't happen, right? but you have to prepare for it so that way you're not at mercy to the market. You need to protect what you've worked so hard for. By how you do that is by managing that and taking more accountability with it. But if you can just potentially lower those fees, that might make a huge difference going into retirement. If you want to learn more, if you feel like you're missing out on some of these opportunities in retirement accounts, whether it's 401ks, IRAs, Al talks a lot about these investment classes that he teaches here at the academy. How to buy at wholesale, sell at retail like the financial institutions do, especially in your retirement account. So I want to invite you to an investing class that he teaches right here. You're going to receive 2 tickets when you call in right now. You're also going to receive the retirement planner. So make sure to mention that when you call in. Call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. So Al, with these retirement accounts, you need the proper tools, especially if you want to self-direct. I mean, we just talked to some people here today, and they wanted to learn more techniques and strategies on protecting what they have. How you do that is by doing it yourself. Who is going to be the best steward of your money? It's going to be you. Talk about some of those tools. We love options. We're seeing more and more people want to understand, what are options? Why might I want to utilize that? How do I use that in my retirement account?
Mm-hmm. When we talk about options, a lot of people come in and say, well, what is an iron condor? What's a butterfly? What's a broken wing butterfly? What's a credit spread, debit spread? And they're confused because there are all these different options within options. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons it's called options is because of the number of choices that are there. The bottom line is there are only 2 options. There's only a call and a put. Everything else is a combination of those. But that's how you take something and you create more tools out of something very simple. But there are rules on when you use them and how you use them. So it's really important. And it's not like the getting the knowledge for doing this is something that is beyond your reach. The education is available to everybody. But it's not just knowledge. That's the information that you get. That's kind of the details. But then you have to have the skills to use that knowledge. And that's really the key, is to build those skills. But I think one of the things that's really important, Josh, is that you have a plan. Yeah. And that's we talk about a tool. That is probably the most important tool you can have. And because included in there are a number of things, and rules is one thing. I mentioned emotions. You can't let emotions control how your decisions are made. But as a human being, it's almost impossible on your own to control your emotions. So a plan should include a set of rules, a step-by-step process, kind of a methodical, objective process that you follow that as much as possible takes your thinking out of it. With a proper plan, you should never have to ask, what do I do now? A plan should have you plan ahead and know what all of the potential outcomes are and how to respond to them. And speaking of important tools, what we teach our student, and this is part of that plan, is how to read a price chart. That's the most important tool, because on that chart, you're going to find or be able to find or identify where a proper entry and exit will be. And by proper entry, I mean one that has the lowest risk potential with the highest profit potential, and then the probabilities of it working in your favor. If you don't have a plan, then you're guessing, you're hoping, you're gambling. You might as well just take your money and go to a casino and have some fun while you lose it. But with a plan, this is what not only is going to help you to control those emotions, but the plan should also include a foundational strategy. That's going to be the tool that you use to help you identify when to get into something. One of the things that, and Warren Buffett will tell you this too, it's temperament and also it's patience. You don't have to be in the market every day. You don't have to, if you have a bunch of money that you want to invest, you don't have to invest it right now. Maybe you're better off waiting a few days or a month, waiting until the prices are in your favor.
Or on sale.
On sale. That's exactly what we want you to do, is buy when things are on sale. When are they on sale? It's typically after the market has gone through a correction or a crash. Again, Warren Buffett is the guy that will tell you that he waits for that to happen so he can buy things on sale. Warren Buffett right now is sitting on about $146 billion in cash, because he's not seeing those values out there. He's going to wait. He has the patience to wait. And I don't think anybody would disagree with the fact that Warren Buffett has done well over the years.
I think he's done okay.
Yeah, but and then part of your plan also, in addition to that foundational strategy, which for our students is a way of timing the right entry point and the right exit point. So it's timing the market, timing changes in asset prices, but it also then includes the proper assets. Those are the tools you use to achieve whatever your goals are, whether they are the potential to achieve your short-term goals or your long-term goals. The right tools, and then obviously the right rules for using those tools.
That's key, Al. I mean, a lot of people, especially in retirement accounts, just buy and hold it, and they never get rid of whatever investments that they're in. So it's important to understand where to get in the market, but also where to get out and take your profits, and then potentially getting back in again. But you need the proper tools to make that timing right. So you have to have a plan to do that, the plan to follow, and the rules within there. If you want to learn more about some of those rules within that plan, Al teaches investing classes that covers a lot about retirement, 401ks, IRAs, and how to potentially make better investing decisions in there to have more confidence, either planning for retirement or even if you're still retired and hopefully staying retired, right? So I want to invite you to an investing class that he teaches right here. We're located in Bloomington. They're only about 2 hours. We do these during the week. We also have them on the weekend. And these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So callers 1 through 10, you're going to receive 2 tickets plus the retirement planner when you call in. Make sure to mention the retirement planner. You'll receive that when you attend. Call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. You can also register by going online at learnwithota.com. Now, coming up next, we've been talking a lot about retirement plans, and we got into the income side of things as well, but there's a lot of FOMO in the market. There's a lot of people that are fear of missing out in these great moves in the market, but they just don't know how to get started. So coming up next, I want you to cover, just enlighten our listeners with what's really driving these markets is supply and demand, but how they can get started with that comfort. Once again, for 2 tickets, call 952-814-4410. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence. We will be right back.